by appearing, he was trying to make a statement, not to just to seek sympathy. It might have been one of the motives. I'm quite sure that Sakaja will not appear.
He might not appear
because that ground is rubbish.
If this week is not a scene from the House of Cards, I don't know which other movie that we could liken this week politically. 40 members of parliament voted against the impeachment of Deputy President Riggy GACHAGUA. 281 okayed the impeachment of the Deputy President. One member of parliament abstained and said, mimi sitaki kujihusisha na hayo mambo yote. And of course, other members of parliament such as Babu Owino and Ndindi Nyoro of Kiharu, they were no show in parliament for the impeachment of Deputy President Riggy GACHAGUA. Among other issues that are ongoing, the Deputy President has 4 hours instead of 2 as compared in the County Assembly to sort of defend himself in the Senate hearings. But as well, the Governor of Nairobi, Johnson Sakaja, will be testifying against the Deputy President in the hearings that will be happening in the Senate this coming week. And of course, I am Alan Herbert, and this is Alan Herbert on the Weekend. We are here to extrapolate all the happenings in the political scene in our country.
Thank you, Alan. My name is Boni Gashora.
Yes.
And interesting times this week. We've seen a lot of interesting happenings from the press statement by the Deputy President headed to his defense in Parliament. The reaction, the kind of environment he was subjected to in Parliament, and the voting that happened, the events of the motion being passed to the Senate immediately in the next morning. A lot of happening.
My guy, the printing press guy was ready for the Gazette notice.
He should be ready also for the printing of Shiv and everything else for public participation. What stood out for me was the appearance of the Deputy President to the National Assembly in person to defend himself. That's a man who is not going to die like a lamb. He's going to fight till the end.
I saw somewhere you called him a beast. I was like, you're exaggerating.
He's a beast.
No, okay. Qualify your statement.
It's not
How is he a beast?
It's not a lot of people would stand against the world by themselves and say that you're all wrong and I'm right.
They got themselves there.
But he had the option of not appearing.
That is a man taking ownership of his mistakes.
No, remember, the Deputy President has the choice of sending his counsel to represent him. And by him appearing, he all knew that he will not salvage himself in the National Assembly. He knew, and he has even dismal chances also in the Senate. But he is going to fight back, and he's going to present himself. It says a lot about his character. By appearing, he was trying to make a statement, not to just to seek sympathy. It might have been one of the motives, but it's not the only one. He's trying to. He knows that chances are high that he's going to be ousted, but he does not want to just go down without a fight. And that's what I'm proud of him.
Now we are proud of Riggy. Okay. What do you have to say about the defense that he put up for himself?
He said a lot of things. And on each of the counts, he had an explanation for everything. And the one that really was brave from him is that he exposed the dealings that they had in the Kenya Kwanza alliance before they got into the government. And by him coming out and defending his shareholding narrative, and even in some instances on his actions being questioned, he played videos of his boss when
doing
he was doing the same thing. It's quite brave of him. He is saying that I think he has concurred with the majority of Kenyans who are saying kufa dereva kufa makanga. If I'm going, let me go with this guy because he's also doing exactly what I'm doing right now.
Probably he's doing what the guy used to do. And the headmaster then was different. Right now the headmaster is also different. So that tells you that this time's headmaster is not going to let what the other headmaster let slip. So I'm going to deal with you perpendicularly. But what also stood out for me and what I really found fascinating is in this day and age we call them receipts. Yeah, he had receipts. Of course, after the impeachment, it proceeded directly to the Senate. Of course, record time. It was supposed, or it was anticipated that it would take over 2 days for that motion to get to the Speaker of the Senate, that is Amason Kingi. But overnight, ilikuwa ishafika the other side, and we saw some interesting happenings in Senate. Instead of limiting this impeachment to a 12 or 11 senator committee, they said no, let us do a plenary, and some key senators such as Edwin Sifuna were like, no, we're not going to go the committee side or the committee route, we are going to go the plenary route. What did you make of that?
You know, I saw some reactions from Kenyans. They were trying and saying as if Sifuna was trying and saving Riggy. That's not the case. In fact, if there was a harder judge to face, it was the plenary. A committee would have been easier for Riggy and
actually many were arguing that the committee would have been easier for Riggy to bribe, because you only have to work with 11 people as compared to 47.
not bribing really, but even
okay, let me not say bribe, but convince otherwise.
Yes, convince otherwise. and people thought that Sifuna was trying and safeguarding Riggy, and that's not the case. I think it's going to be very difficult for GACHAGUA to convince 40, is it? I think 23. He's supposed to convince 23 on all the 11 counts. He might get acquitted on most of them.
But one surely will stick.
It only takes one to uphold the impeachment, and I don't see how he's going to negate that.
And interestingly, having also Sakaja coming to defend his stance, because he was one of the witnesses in the impeachment, and in the Senate they will be calling forth the witnesses on some of the accounts that he's being accused.
I'm quite sure that Sakaja will not appear.
He might not appear
because that ground is rubbish. It has already been rubbished by most of the lawyers in both sides. They cannot substantiate enough that the DP went to the extent of interfering with county matters unless they have further evidence. And
probably Sakaja has further evidence to justify.
I don't think he has, because there were on X. They were replying each other on X and saying, Deputy President, you have my phone. And I thought that time Sakaja was trying to look for evidence to bring forth when the impeachment comes. He wanted the Deputy President to call him and he'll record that call.
You're thinking so much into it, my guy.
No,
you're thinking so much into it.
That was part of the plan. Remember, I observed, and the reason I was so certain that the impeachment was coming is because I observed members of parliament tricking the Deputy President to a corner, try and bring him to a corner such
and
that
say certain things,
do certain things, so that you get sufficient grounds and evidence to bring him down. And Sakaja was very, very vocal about that issue, and really it was a known issue, and it was something that really had already been done by the county government. It's not something that was planned to be done. The eviction was already done. And I thought that Sakaja was trying to push the Deputy President to saying something or doing something that was going to bring him trouble.
Many senators have been pictured, and one of them is Samson Cherargei meeting with the Deputy President, and people are worried. Is the Senate going to save Man Riggy? Because with how he's moving, people the jitters all over the corridors of power, because nobody knows what Riggy is promising these senators that he's meeting with. And when the Senate was debating, and also Amason Kingi putting an embargo, let me call it an embargo for lack of a better word, of senators traveling outside of the country or doing anything outside of Nairobi up until the crucifixion of Rigathi Gachagua is done and dusted with. I found that really malicious to some extent. But among the 47, who do you think are going to be a part of the 23 who might save Rigathi Gachagua?
I am certain, and I've told you before, that all senators from Mount Kenya are going to vote to retain Rigathi Gachagua.
Okay.
All of them. From apart from the one for Meru and the one for the Rakanithi.
Yeah.
All of
because
them from Mount Kenya
they
are going
vote in
to
the favor of their son to get the job.
Yes. That's around 8 senators.
Yeah.
And moving from the mountain, you see members like Cherargei. Cherargei has since last year been very close friends with the deputy president. And his wars with Kina Murkomen among his tribesmen has made him more aligned to the deputy president. Not because he likes him very much, but because he has trouble with some of his kins. And funny that Cherargei is now even bringing laws to push the term limits now from 5 years to 7 years. And these are the bills that I'm telling Kenyans, these are bills to just test the waters. See how angry these people can get. PLO was on an interview last evening.
Actually, this week.
This week.
On
and
Wednesday.
He said that Kenyans are not angry enough. And if a member of parliament who comes from your village can go and vote on a bill that you and all your villagers have said no to, it really will call for you to have a lot of anger in you to even punish him. Because I think in this country, without punishment, you are heading nowhere.